This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. Nancy Welch joining us today, our Reiki Master Animal Intuitive and owner of Balancing Connections. How are you?
Good, Jill. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you here. Fill us in a little bit about yourself before we start.
So, as you mentioned, I do animal Reiki, and I'm the owner of Balancing Connections. What I mainly, though, what that means is I help animals with releasing their anxiety and other stuck emotions, and that helps them feel calmer, more balanced, and more connected. And a lot of times while I'm doing that, I get some intuitive information as well, which can be very helpful for us to
Aw,
connect with our animals.
I know. And you connect with all sorts of animals. Tell us.
Yeah. So, when we talk about animal Reiki, usually you're talking to people about their cats and their dogs, but Reiki's for anyone or anything, from birds and rabbits to cows and horses, and even wild animals. So I've even connected with insects on occasion. And when we learn Reiki, when in the part of the classes, they teach us that we can Reiki our food, our water, and even situations we're concerned about, because the energy knows no bounds, and only permission and acceptance of the energy is required. So most of my clients are what we consider to be our pets, those that live with us in our homes as part of our families. Um, Recently, I've started working with Jessica, owner of Mane and Woof, and she does equine massage and myofascial release on horses and dogs. Now, I'm not a horse person, so working with Jessica is amazing because she's showing me, the ins and outs of working with horses. But when I work with her, it's been fascinating to see are also the spots that she
Mhm.
saw right away we're going to need help. So every time I'm like, okay, oh, Jessica, over here, they want some, and she'll pull up the anatomy of the horse and show me, oh, see that, and that was like a big fascia line down his
Yeah.
leg or whatever it was. Um, so it's when it's worked both ways. Like she'll be working on a spot, and then I find I'm drawn to it. Um, but not everything has been physical. Like sometimes I feel like a
Mhm.
spot is real emotional, and then she'll see that this was a spot she also needed to work on. So what happens is, anytime like we have an injury, not anytime, and not every time, but a lot of times, like your old injuries, they'll flare up, something will get achy and sore, or some of them just don't heal as fast as you think they should. It's because you have emotions stuck in there too, along with the physical aspect of the injury. So us working together on this is just really, really amazing how it's helping the horses. You can just see them release and let go, and so it's working out very well working together.
Yeah. And, Reiki, you mentioned it's not just the normal Reiki. You could do Reiki on not just animals, not just humans. What other things?
All right, so
All right. You're so cute. All right.
all right, so as you said, any living thing can benefit from Reiki. And so
Mm-hmm.
lately, I had a fly hanging around my laptop. And, I'm human enough to
Mm-hmm.
be annoyed by a fly hanging
Yep.
around. And I know a lot of people, oh, it's a sign of something. And I looked it up and
Yeah.
okay, sign. But this guy wasn't leaving. So either I didn't get the message, I thought, or whatever. But the other night I was in a group Reiki session, and there was the fly sitting on my laptop, not even flying around. And as I finished up the dog, he just kept sitting there.
Really?
So I thought, well, maybe he's looking for some Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started to send Reiki to him, thinking after a minute or two he's going to take off. No, no. He sat there for over 10 minutes. And just sitting in the middle of my touchpad on my laptop, like accepting the Reiki, and I could feel it flowing out at him. I really didn't connect with him to find out what was going on with him. Um, but I just figured he had a good reason for staying there. The Reiki kept flowing, and the Reiki was going to take care of whatever he was looking for. And I just realized I haven't seen him back here.
Oh,
He's
wow, really?
he got what he needed. Hopefully, he went wherever he needed to go. Uh,
Oh.
yeah. So I'm like, okay. Like I said, I find flies as annoying as the next person, but everyone deserves healing if it's available. So why not?
No, I agree. Absolutely. And, how does the process work? I mean, I know because we've talked before quite a few times. People out there might be a little nervous and set us up for some Reiki if you can. Can I ask for some Reiki today? Can you give me some? Can you give my pet some? How does it work?
Of course. Um, the, so Reiki is energy. It's actually life force energy, and we Reiki practitioners channel it through.
Hmm.
And it's based on intention.
Yeah.
You can be anywhere. You can even pets that have transitioned, I've worked with. But I could easily send you Reiki and your pets because you just asked me to. So
Yeah.
you're looking
Yeah.
for it. You've given me permission.
All 8 of
Um,
them.
all 8 of them.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Um, and it would be very easy. You could just sit there, relax, and as we are together right now, I can just start sending it to you. Um, And as we go, we'll both be relaxed. I usually have my eyes closed because I pick up the intuitive parts more if I'm sitting here on Zoom in a distance session. Um, I I definitely get more of the intuitive parts um, because I don't have to worry about like a horse stepping on my foot or something. So I I can put that part of my brain into there. And you would sit there and most of the time you might feel some tingling, some
Okay.
heat, some relaxation. With your animals, you might see them lay down, relax, or like if they're really energetic, hyper young animal, like it might take them a little while to slow down, but usually you do see them slow down and relax. And it's not that we're trying to make them like sit still or something, like you're a kid in school. You're just offering the healing, and when you're relaxed, you get into that parasympathetic mode, and then your body can heal.
Mm.
So I would say most sessions with an animal are I usually do 30 minutes, but that involves some chat, some
Okay.
questions and feedback on what you're feeling, what I'm sensing. Um, But I recently did a demonstration for a group, and in order to give them a sample, I think I did somewhere 5 to 7 minutes of each of the people for themselves so they could see what it felt like. And unanimously, everybody felt it. Everybody was much more relaxed. I couldn't do like a full body thing in that short time, but on a human, starting up here and going down here and just taking some of that load off your shoulders, some of that stress out of your neck, they all felt it. So that was pretty exciting that Reiki could work that quick, that efficiently, in such a short time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And what else do you love about Reiki? What else goes in conjunction with it that's usually good for someone or an animal?
So I see you're drinking water. One of my favorite non-traditional things to share Reiki with is more environmental. I live really close to Lake Michigan, and I tend to go there year round. My dogs have always loved a winter romp at the beach, and that just got me in the habit of going there, whatever. So whenever I do go there, and even sometimes when I'm just driving past it, I send Reiki and gratitude to our beautiful lake. And if I'm like in the lake, probably it's a longer time. My hands are flowing the Reiki straight in, but it's getting it either
Yeah.
way. So think about it. It's improving the health of the water, the lake, raises the vibration of the lake water itself, and then that affects everybody that depends on that water. So all of the marine life in the lake, they're now living in a slightly higher vibrational environment. Um, and then all of us who drink the water,
Ooh.
we're drinking in a little bit better quality of water. Um, it also improves for those who go play in it. So like my dogs, they're
Hmm.
playing in a little bit healthier water. But we do also like it just takes a few seconds, like a glass or a bottle of water that we're drinking. We send the energy into it. And there are studies from this wonderful Japanese scientist whose name escapes me at the moment, but that he
Okay.
has shown how much energy affects water, and then that in turn affects us.
Hmm. Sure does. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. What else
Uh-huh.
is on the tap for today, Nancy? What other things do you want to suggest that our listeners can benefit from with balancing connections?
Um, let's see. Well, I have a session, a special event on dragonflyreiki.me. I'm a part of
Hmm.
that organization as well. And we're working on, I have a support circle called Peaceful Pause and Reiki, and it's for grief support, for pet loss grief. A lot of people, if you're not a pet mom, and I use the pet,
Hmm.
but because you know what, for you and I, these are our family. I
Yeah.
know it's for you, it's the same. So they're not some lesser
Yeah.
than being living in my house. They're my family. It's just, an easy common description. Anyway, so sometimes when you lose a member of your family, oh, it was just a cat. Get over it, to people who don't
Uh,
get it, right? And where do you turn? Where do you turn when you're holding all this pain? If it were another family member, they'd give you time off of work. People would give you slack and not expect you to bounce right back. Well, my my animals are really important to me. So, not that I own them, but they're my family. Um, so I just to support them, give people a chance to talk about their animals, to share their stories. And then I send Reiki to the group. I can send it also to the animals that have transitioned. And then we talk a little bit more about it. But sometimes when you start chipping away and moving some of that grief along and have an opportunity to share it with others who feel the same way, it can do so much good. I'm
yeah.
not trained in counseling, but you know, between Reiki and talking, it can make a huge difference.
Well, I love hearing, your testimonials, the stories of the people you're helping. This person had the pleasure of working with you. Reiki on your cat, the calm confidence led the session. Was able to experience some of the energy healing myself as it shifted through different energy centers. My cat experienced more serene demeanor. This is Diane W. for Willow. I recommend Nancy for your animal Reiki needs. Your pet will benefit greatly, and you also may enjoy the same. Um, Anything new?
Yeah.
And have you
Yeah.
sent? You have a newsletter that you send out? Anything new and exciting?
Yeah. What was my last one? Well, my last one I talked about, and we talked about last week about the veil being thinner.
Yes,
So
I
that
never
was my
heard that
last
term. You taught me
newsletter,
that. Yep.
and how much easier it is to connect with your pets. Right, right. I was surprised. To me, it was like, I think it must be a term I grew up with, or maybe I didn't. I don't know. But yeah, but that Halloween time, and that's why people think about the ghosts and all that, because you do often sense your family members and your animals
Yep.
closer, being closer, reaching out to you more at that time because they can get through a little bit easier. Um, I
Oh,
did want
we're
to
talking
talk
about.
about,
Oh, go ahead. Good.
I
Like I'm
have
trying to get the train of thought back.
oh, okay. Yeah. So I my site, I kind of recently added another session um called Connected Hearts Reiki. And that is meant for, as Diane and Willow experience, Reiki together with you and your pets. And uh, it's great. You can feel the Reiki, you can relax with them, they can relax with them. And that really, it helps your bond be a little closer. Um, and I can actually work on that because I have
Mm-hmm.
had people that they love the animal, but they're not really bonded. And there are some things we can try to help with that. There's a Animals have a chakra that humans don't really have. It's called brachial chakra. And it's kind of right at their shoulder blades. Like if you had a big dog and you just reached your hand on, that's kind of where your hand sort of naturally goes, because that's a spot that helps to connect people, humans and animals. So if that energy center needs some work on an animal, we can work on that. There's an energetic cord that connects the two of you. Sometimes we can strengthen that, clear it if there's anything going on. Um, or just about enjoying the peace and relaxation together with, you know, your, I'm going to say, what are your favorite family members?
Yeah,
A
I
lot of
love
times
my
it's our
pets.
pets.
It honestly, it is. It is. Is that rude? I love my kids too, but yeah, I could deal with my cats all day compared to like dealing with my aunts, my uncles, and other
Well,
people.
it's a different bond. Each of them, like I'm going to ask you to, do you kind of feel a little bit differently about each one?
Oh,
A little different
absolutely.
connection, a
And
little
people
different
say that's
bond.
wrong. Same with my
Yeah.
children. I feel the same exact thing. And people say, oh, it's not true. You can't. I'm like, no, it's true. I'm like, I'm closer with one than the other because one actually likes me more and is kinder to me more. So, of course, I'm going to be more, not receptive, but more loving of that child. I try not to show it, but he says, oh, he's your favorite. I said, it's not my favorite, but I'm never yelling at him. So he's always so my one son doesn't behave that well. So I'm always yelling at him. So he's like, you favor Jackson. I said, it's not favoring. I said, but guess what? You hear him getting positive attention and praising, and you don't ever let that happen because you're always, starting a little fight. He's very defiant. So, but he feels unloved. He feels not unloved, but he feels like he's
Yeah.
my favorite. And he can't explain it to the kid. And I'm trying my best to say anyway, but back to the cats too. I said about the cats, I said, look, I said, they're like kids. And my kids know this. I said, don't you have a favorite? And they're like, oh, so you do have a favorite kid. I said, you're going to favor, meaning get along better with. I said, one of these cats. So you know who your favorite cat is because you just get along better with it. Doesn't mean you love it more or less than the others, but you kind of are drawn to it more. Touchy situation. I know, Nancy. It really is. Oh, did I lose you? I lost you. I was talking about my favorite animals and children, telling the kids that it's okay to choose the one that you
Hi, are you
like better.
back?
We all connect with others. Yes. Hi. Hi. I don't
Yeah.
know what you heard or didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Some of it. But you're so used to using and hearing that term favorite. And I'm going to guess that it's not, like you said, it's not that you really love them any less, one to the next. One is more compatible to your energy, as we
Yeah.
would say. Um, that you bond easier, connect easier with them. But the one that needs the more attention, you don't love them any more or less. They just need some more of your everyday attention, and that's okay.
Yeah.
And the same lack of love. I don't think. I'm guessing the way you talk about your household, it it doesn't sound like that's true. Um, but you can remind your son, I love you and thank you for not demanding so much of my attention,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You can look at it that way. You're right.
Yeah, yeah.
Aw. Now, is there ever times where you talk to pet owners that have a pet and they're just not aligned ever? Like they really say, like, I want to give my pet up for adoption. Like it's that bad. This pet does not like me and I don't like this pet. Does that ever happen?
Yeah, that happens. They can be not a good fit. Sometimes, we can work on that, but sometimes that animal might be a lot happier somewhere else.
Yeah.
I I can think of a friend I had who chose to give up her dog after she had a baby. And I don't think, I know it sounds sad, right? But really, I think in this case, this dog wasn't crazy about children, and mom knew that. And she was worried about the child, in all fairness. But when she found somebody to take her dog, the dog was happier. She followed up with the people. The dog was happier because was going to be in a home with no children, and that's what the dog was after. And um, hard decision, but my friend made the right decision in this case. Uh, I know a lot of people think, "Oh, no, no, no! How can you give up on him?" But when you were a teenager dating, just because a guy was a nice guy didn't mean he was a good fit for you, right? It's
Yeah.
not always the right fit, and that's important. You want them to be happy, you want to be happy, and that can be the right thing. Send them to a house that has kids when they're crazy about them, or to kids come along and they can't stand being around children. So that can be important. But we can also, if it's not quite so, um, I would say extreme, maybe. If it's just a little sort of bumps in the road, we can try working that out. I mean, there could be behavioral things you can try, but really, we want to work on the connection and between the two of you, and we can reach out to the animal and see how they feel. Are what can be done to make them happy, and maybe we can find some things that work for both of you, and that's what am I going to do, and we might find some solutions, something that both of you would be happy
Mm,
with, and work it
good.
out.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we still got a few more minutes left. And what else can people expect from working with you?
Okay, as I stated before, I recently had a couple of people in a row who had animals that crossed. And I was able to reach out and connect with those animals because energy, it can go anywhere. It doesn't matter that these animals are crossed. And in each situation, um, but sometimes it was just grief, but a lot of times we have guilt. Did I let go of them too easily? Was it the right time? And that's such a tough one. But I was able to connect with them, and the information you get back, it's so personal and individual, and but so valuable because they're not there anymore, and you're not sure, and it's really easier to connect with them than you think. If you just kind of open your heart, relax, think about times you were happy together or loving times you had together when you're not sitting in your grief mode so much. Uh, a lot of times you'll think of them like their face will pop in their head, or you'll see someone do something and it was just like how they did it. They're trying to share with you, let you know they're still there saying hi and that they love you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a few events coming up, working with one of my
Sure.
friends because we know we're going into super stress season.
Oh, yeah, it's upon me.
Started already. Um, so my friend Michelle owns Reiki with Ease, and we're going to do some joint stuff meant to relax both of you, a little de-stressing. So the offering, one of them is on Eventbrite, and it's under her name, which is Reiki with Ease, and it's all about connecting with your animal companion, relaxing with them, and so you can find us there on Eventbrite. Um, you can also find my Peaceful Pause in Reiki, which I just talked about, my pet loss support circle, and that will be on dragonflyreiki.me. Or you can always look at Balancing Connections to book your next animal Reiki session. But we're working on more of these joint events to bring a little balance and ease. Stressed. Guess who else gets stressed? And then they're going to act out, and then you're going to start freaking out about why are they doing this? Oh my gosh, just right when I don't have the extra minute to deal with it. So that can bring you both back down to calm and let go some of them.
Perfect. All right. Tell us how we can find you, please.
Okay, balancingconnections.com.
Mm-hmm.
That is my website. I can also be found on dragonflyreiki.me. That's ME. Most my events will be posted there. And yeah, so feel free to reach out. Love to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being here for our babies and our family members. Because they really are to most of us. They are
Yeah,
more than animals. Thank you
right.
again and enjoy the rest of your day and have a fantastic weekend.
You too, Jill. Thank you.
Thanks, Eddie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.